or draw opens with "Holy freaking crap, it's Doc from Fraggle Rock." My apologies, I'm not used to recognizing actors in this show who aren't in conductor uniforms. This is Barton. He's about to go on a motorcycle race because he's cool.
This cat is going to put the pedal to the metal in a 30-beat motorcycle showdown.
So it turns out that Barton actually brought crayons and papers for the kids to draw with because they're having their own little drawing competition. Billy walks in and shows the kids his very special magical ink, but he only says that it's magical and doesn't say what makes it magical, because foreshadowing. The rules of the competition that the kids have to draw a person. Bethany doesn't think that she's good enough to draw a person and talks about it to Mr. Conductor. Mr. Conductor then tells her, you guessed it, a Thomas story, yay. After the story, Bethany asks Mr. C to help her with an even better picture, to which he does. Oh, and I forgot to mention that earlier she tore up the drawing, and that it was also a drawing of Stacy. So, yeah. The kids tell Schemer about their contest, which inspires him to start his own self-portrait, which he wants to make with Billy's special ink. Billy catches Schemer trying to go into his workshop, and Billy says that if Schemer needs anything, all he has to do is ask. To which Schemer then steals the ink without asking. Carolyn and Becky show off their drawings to Stacy and Billy, to which they are all very impressed, except for Becky, still thinking that she's not good enough. We cut to the jukebox band, who are talking about the events that had just occurred. And then the piano player of the band recounts a story from childhood, which is the first puppet set we've seen outside the jukebox in the entire series. He recounts a story on how his piano came to life while he was learning how to play and started playing itself, to which his mother was very impressed by and proud of his practice. However, the more the piano plays itself and the more his mom thinks that it's him playing, the more guilty he feels about lying to his mother, which by the way is clearly just the piano player's adult puppet in drag. Once the pianist starts playing by his own again, the piano itself says that one day, with enough practice, he will be a really good musician. And this even gains the approval of his mother. So it turns out everything about that story was basically true except for the fact that the piano came alive, which, judging by what we've seen so far in this franchise, screw it. Sentient pianos also exist. And they didn't do a song, which is actually not that bad. I quite enjoy this song they're singing. Mr. Conductor shows up to Becky once again, and she's still thinking that she's not good enough, until Mr. C tells her the story of, oh god, not this again. It still baffles me on how the creators of these shows think that this is a completely normal thing to happen in a world of talking trains. Like, someone just shows up without a face. Like, imagine if I was just walking down the street and some human being just didn't have a face. It just wasn't there. And would it be even stranger if I can actively have a conversation with this person? Like, what the frick is up with that? And it's weird that, like, Mr. Conductor is telling the story to this kid, and Becky doesn't bring up the fact that City of Tro doesn't have a face. Because, like, you know for a fact that Becky would be like, hey, I thought these trains had faces. Why doesn't this one have a face? Okay, here is my fan theory. I think the reason Mr. Conductor doesn't bring up the fact that there's no face, and that the no face thing does not bring up in the episode proper, is because Mr. Conductor was not there. Just think about it. I mean, he's not really there for, like, any of these stories. He mainly just heard, or we just never see him in general. So what if, for, like, this scenario, Mr. Conductor wasn't a part of this story, like, at all, and he only heard about what happened? Actually, he would just assume that City of Truro had a face, like all of the other engines. and it wouldn't be weird. But then again, it's a big ceremony on the island of Sodor, and a big celebrity is there. So why wouldn't Mr. Conductor also be there? You guys think I can continue after that? That's silly. You're silly. Go home.